You know, San Francisco may have had championship football and baseball teams, but we all know what the #1 sport in the Bay Area is: checking real estate. And now we're here with one of the Bay Area's foremost real estate experts, Peter Goss. Welcome.
Thank you, David.
So talk to me about the market.
It's a little bit of everything right now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of exuberance in the market. At the same time, there's also plenty of evidence that we've been through a very difficult financial crisis. So you can see both ends of the spectrum in San Francisco. I heard just yesterday that a house attracted 26 offers when the offer date came, which was just, well, a little bit hard to believe, particularly in these times.
I mean, Peter, you're always so even-keeled, which I imagine is good when you have clients who are looking at Zillow.com or other places, seeing the value of their homes go up and down. But exuberance isn't a word I've heard referred to the San Francisco real estate market in a while. You really think there are signs of that?
I do. Much of my time this week was spent working on a particular property that we wanted to have people look at all the disclosures and information that we were gathering about the property, and we asked them please not to bring offers until such time as they had a chance to review those. And before we knew it, we had 4 offers in our hands, and we're trying to locate the sellers and discuss how they wanted to respond to them. So it's pretty amazing the amount of activity there is in the market right now. That's the most surprising thing to me at the moment.
Now, you've been in the real estate business for how long?
26 years.
When was the best time to buy a house in the Bay Area?
When I first came here, the prices were substantially lower than they are today. And I came out here from Washington, D.C. You had made that trek as well, as I recall. And when I arrived here, I noticed immediately that the prices were substantially higher than Washington, but it became clear to me that they were going much, much higher. And we're currently looking at prices that are consistent with 2004 in terms of their price points, in terms of the level of price. I came here in '99, and there was a dramatic shift in price upward between those two times over that 5-year period.
So you're saying now in the Bay Area in general, or in San Francisco, we're looking at house prices that are roughly equivalent to what they were in 2004?
In general terms, I'm finding a lot of the properties that I'm involved with, that I'm either representing a buyer or a seller, that we're looking at a price that's consistent with 2004 levels.
So does that mean next year that the condo that my husband and I bought in 2005 will be worth what it was when we bought it? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
We hope so.
Yeah.
But of course, it's much about what's going on in Washington, what's going on in the rest of the country. We've done so much better here than other parts of the country. I have a couple of properties in Florida that a little bit difficult to talk about because of what's happened to the market there. In many areas in Florida, if you can get 50 cents on the dollar from the peak, you'd be considering yourself to be lucky. Here we saw about a 10% decline at the time when the market shifted dramatically, 2007, 2008. And in the better locations in San Francisco, that's pretty much where things are today.
So in the United States, where's the worst place to own a house right now, and where's the best?
Well, some parts of California, Nevada, Arizona, and Florida. Take your pick. Arguably, Las Vegas is the worst market. In fact, most analyses that I've read do indicate that Las Vegas has suffered the most.
And why is it? Just because people overbuilt, or the economy in general, or a combination of both?
Yeah. Tremendous overbuilding in Las Vegas, and of course investors were buying properties by the dozen. People were leveraging everything they had, everything they could get, and so much of what was driving demand there was wild speculation. So that market has pretty much collapsed, and as I hear, it's starting to improve, but the situation there is really grim for somebody who bought at the height of the market.
So, I mean, is San Francisco still a place where a young gay couple or a young lesbian couple can still afford to buy a house? I mean, we're talking, you know, maybe 2 men in their 20s or 30s, women in their 20s, 30s, 40s. I mean, is this still the gay mecca for people to move here, or is it, has our community been priced out?
Oh, of course. It's still possible for people to purchase, and I'm seeing gay and lesbian couples every every week, coming into the market or finding the property that we've been searching for, sometimes for a very long time. It's not an easy market because there isn't that much for sale at the moment, and as you heard, there are 25 disappointed parties who put in their offers on a particular property just this week. So sometimes it takes a while, first to find the place and then to find the one that you're going to be successful in competing for against whatever other interest is there.
Right. Now, when my husband and I bought our condo in 2005, we bought it not because we were like investors. We bought it because we needed a place to live, and carved it out, and we got it, and we love it. I mean, Alfredo said to me when the crisis happened, our condo isn't worth what it was when we paid for it. What do we do? I said, we keep paying the mortgage and hold on to it. Yeah. I mean, is that just silly kind of seat of the pants advice, or is that good advice?
I think that's what you have to do at this point, because what's the alternative? And will this market come back and reach the levels that that we enjoyed a few years ago? And my answer to that is that the long-term trend here is up, and it has always been up since 1850. In the short term, we're still seeing a deficit from the height of the market that we experienced.
So who are the people that are buying now? Are they people that are looking for a good deal to invest, or are we still seeing those first-time home buyers in San Francisco and in the Bay Area?
Yeah, a little bit different crowd than before, David, because obviously one has to be in a better financial situation than one had to be in several years ago. It was possible to purchase property without so much as putting a penny down a few years ago. Now the banks are generally looking for 20%, though there are opportunities through some programs like FHA to purchase with as little as 3.5% down. So we're seeing the same sort of people that we saw a few years ago, just not as many of them.
Right. Now, I've heard you speak about this before, the website Zillow.com.
Yes.
And I remember when the financial crisis started, I couldn't check that site enough times a day. I wanted to see what was the value of our property. Is that a smart strategy? Does it mean a thing that Zillow says your house is worth this? Or more to the point, you can go online with your neighbor's address and find out what your neighbors, what they paid for it and what it's worth, and even what their mortgage is. Seems kind of scary.
Yeah. Well, if you check Zillow.com and that number is right, I would say that you're very lucky to have had that experience, because if you go into their fine print, if you will, and you look at what sort of variation there could be or is likely to be here in San Francisco, it's really a tremendous factor. So expecting that to be an accurate estimate of value, I think, is really not a good expectation to have.
Right.
It's much better pick up the phone and call me, and I'll be happy to tell you.
Yeah, good segue. I was going to say, besides calling you, what is the best way to really figure out what your house is worth?
It's really important in this city in particular, where every property is different, to check in with a real estate professional and find out what the current value is, because it has little to do with what somebody paid several years ago, or perhaps what you heard from someone who checked Zillow or spoke to someone supposedly in the know. We do it in a very systematic and methodical way. We check comparable properties and we make comparisons and adjustments, just like an appraiser would do, in order to come up with a valuation. And it's not as easy as it looks. It's really a bit of an art as well as a science.
Do you still love this business? I mean, there must have been some sleepless nights when all this stuff started, the financial crisis, I mean.
Yeah. I still love the business because, in fact, I would say that I love it more now than I ever have. Part of what I've enjoyed about my work over the years is that I get a chance to help people do something important in their lives. And there's nothing better than coming home at the end of the day and feeling as you walk through that door that there's no place else you would rather be. And if I've done my work correctly, then that's where we wind up. I always say to my clients, 95%, 95 and above is a passing grade. Anything less than that, what are we here for?
Right.
But it's really important to have that experience, and that's what I love about it. Today, with so many challenges in the market in terms of either finding a place or sometimes can be difficult depending on
Yeah.
location to get something sold.
But it's still a good time to buy a house, is what you're saying.
Oh, absolutely.
We've been speaking with Peter Goss of real estate company Zephyr. I'm David Perry, your host for 10%. I hope that you will tune in and watch us next week. Thanks for watching.